That was like how you spoke if you were highfalutin. You know who's definitely a highfalutin? Probably has that transatlantic accent because, man, this kid's the upper class of Protoss. Besides Storm Gaming, it's MaxPax. On his way to yet another PvP here in the Grand Finals against his opponent in the upper left-hand corner. For Team Liquid, it's SKillous. I won't keep that accent up the whole time, but it's a fun one. Maybe I should work on my transatlantic accent a little more. Always good to do a little accent work while you're casting all day. Even though we had a nice late start today, we've had some really fun games. It's mostly been PvP, but they've been pretty energetic PvPs. A lot of times, European PvPs can end up being very stagnant. There was a long period of time where it was just macro, macro, macro. I got really tired of watching like the third base go down before the units crossed the map, and it was just like blink stalkers every game. So I'm glad things have changed up a little bit. I think we can thank MaxPax for that. He seems to always be doing the gateway down on the low ground here on the ramp. And for a while after the Void Ray change and Shield Battery change, that made this defense a little weaker. MaxPax was, with everybody else, double gatewaying on the high ground, but I think he started learning that he can do it again. You know, he can hold these kinds of builds again. And we saw him hold really nicely earlier against Strange. Oh, MaxPax lost his probe. Oh my god. We saw him hold earlier the one base against Strange in 2 of those games, but Strange was able to take a victory in one of them. MaxPax playing very safe here, getting that Stargate down. It is a proxy out of SKillous. It's a proxy robo. MaxPax is going to have to be on the defense. SKillous, though, I do feel like is a bit of a step above Strange. I feel like he's a little bit of a stronger Protoss player. And I think MaxPax is going to have a very tough time holding these builds from somebody like SKillous, who, I mean, right now, you could very much make a case as SKillous is the #2 Protoss in Europe. I think Showtime's the only one that would give him trouble with that. But SKillous has looked very strong this past year. And MaxPax, he's got his work cut out for him. These Adepts going to sneak in. There is no wall there. The probe was a little late to the party. And suddenly, probes are going to have to get pulled against this Adept as the Zealot comes in. Oh my god, this is an excellent start for SKillous right now, who's got the Prism on the way behind this. Oh, man, he's already got 4 kills, 5 kills, and it is just racking up worse and worse here for MaxPax, who, honestly, this is borderline tap-out area here. Yeah, I think a lot of Protoss players would leave right now. MaxPax maybe a little more tenacious, ready to fight it out. He just doesn't have anything. There's no units on the way. He's got 1 Stalker here. The Shield Battery has taken so much damage. The Oracle turns on to try to save the Shield Battery, but it's not going to be successful, and both of those Stalkers live as well for SKillous. I think that has to be GG, right? Now the Prism hits the main base. SKillous just surgically working his way into MaxPax's brain and into his base. Looks like he's going to wait for another warp in. But he's here so quickly. MaxPax is just not prepared for it. He's waiting down on the ramp. The units hit the main. GG gets called. SKillous. Damn. SKillous does what nobody else has been able to do so far. Takes down MaxPax and honestly makes MaxPax's build look bad. Now, I think a lot of that comes down to one very simple thing. MaxPax had a probe on the way to block off Adepts from coming into his base, but the probe was just a little late. Kind of like I was late starting the stream today. That probe was late getting to that wall where it needed to make a full wall to stop those Adepts from coming through. MaxPax missed that one, and from there, it's a snowball. It's a snowball all the way down to the end of that game. And SKillous did not stop that pressure, right? He had that follow-up of the proxy robo. The Prism was already there. He played it perfectly, killing that Shield Battery at the front, forcing MaxPax's attention there, and then immediately going into the main. It's beautifully done by SKillous. Very, very skillfully done. Let's get into game 2. Going to Ancient Cistern. This is not a low ground ramp down from the natural, so we'll have to keep an eye on what build this player decides to do. And if he decides to build that gateway down there or go for the high ground gate, it is System Gaming's MaxPax. That is a high ground pylon. So finally, somebody is forcing him to play a little bit more standard. For Team Liquid, it's SKillous. And I mean, last map did have the ramp going down from the natural, which makes it harder for the person attacking and easier for MaxPax to defend it. And still, SKillous picked him apart. Absolutely beautifully done. Expertly done. MaxPax, he's got to concede this game. He says, all right, I'll build on the high ground. That's fine. That's cool. You can do that. This pylon placement is bad against, like, robo pressure, but really good if you're going to expand. So this pylon, you can build a shield battery down here, I think, in this area. You might have to kill these rocks to build one here. I don't know. I think you can build it somewhere around here on the low ground to help defend your natural nexus. See, SKillous' pylon, you actually can't build anything down there. You couldn't build a shield battery on the low ground with that pylon. Interesting that MaxPax is still just going for a 1 gate though. So usually on the high ground, like you see here from SKillous, you'd see the double gateway into the Cybercore, and then even if you wanted to expand, this is kind of the standard build. I mean, this is not kind of, this is absolutely the PvP standard right here from SKillous. MaxPax just going for the 1 gate. Seems to just prefer that, even up on the high ground. He prefers the 1 gate. It's just very interesting. Gets out a Zealot as well. It's just wild that MaxPax, he says, you know what, screw your meta. I'm doing my own thing. I'm playing my own builds. You know, because when MaxPax first came on the scene, it was because he had an extremely unique build, extremely unique play styles in all of his matchups. Obviously, specifically the first PvT we saw from him was Beastie Cutie, seeing the proxy gate shenaniganry, but he changed up the meta in all the matchups. He played everything very uniquely, his own style. Then he kind of, I mean, as he got better, he started learning why things were standard. Started playing a lot of standard builds. Got very, very good with stalker control, but it's really cool to see him still keep his own style, his own flavor to these things. And we see that shield battery going down, that high ground pylon doing its job here as it's already done. SKillous has a proxy gate. He is about to get aggressive with a 4 gate. There's no Twilight Council. There's no blink with this, at least not yet. This is just a good old-fashioned 4 gate, man. The Nexus is about to finish here for MaxPax. He has recognized that there's a full wall back at home for SKillous, and MaxPax knows he needs to hold here. He doesn't have a wall to buy time, so SKillous is already starting to push in here. There's a Void Ray on the way. Was there an Oracle made? There is an Oracle out somewhere. Trying to chew through shield battery energy. It can actually get probe kills here, but only a few. SKillous doesn't seem too worried about it. Just warps in a Stalker. At the same time, he's pushing the front. He gets the kill on one of these Stalkers. It was a little too far away from the shield battery. Now the Stalker count for SKillous is looking pretty high. The lack of blink does make this a lot harder for SKillous, but it means he can get these Stalkers out a little bit earlier. Prismatic Alignment turns on. The Void Ray gets a kill. Ooh, it's going to get another one. Not quite. Gets it very low, though. And SKillous does not have shield batteries, so he's not going to be able to heal that Stalker up very quickly. The Nexus is starting to take some real damage, though. It's taking hull damage here. SKillous wants to try to force an overcharge on the shield batteries. Probe's starting to die. Good pickoffs here from SKillous, but he needs more than probe kills, because MaxPax has a Nexus. He needs to either kill this Nexus or kill this army. The shield battery healed up this Nexus a little bit, just trying to buy some more time for MaxPax to stay alive. SKillous keeping that pressure on. Builds a sentry now. He wants to get a cheeky force field on these units. as they keep pulling backwards. The Nexus down in the red. It's almost dead. There's the overcharge on the shield battery to try to heal it up. The Stalkers keeping the shields low. They want to stop those shields from going all the way back up. There's so many Stalkers here from SKillous. A third Void Ray does pop. Oh my god, that shield battery stopped overcharging the Nexus on 130 hit points. It gets healed up a little bit by the shield battery, but just so small, and SKillous is ready to pop it. He wants to dive on it. Prismatic alignment on the Void Rays keeping him back, but that only lasts for so long and has a long cooldown. The Guardian shield pops. A force field goes down for MaxPax, but SKillous dives in anyways. Gets a couple of units, then backs on up. He's gonna go for the Void Rays this time. No, the Void Rays still doing a lot of damage from up on high here. Shield battery helping out, but down goes the Nexus, and now MaxPax. He's lost that advantage he had. One of the Void Rays goes down. The other three in some trouble here as they back up, trying to stay alive with these shield batteries, but the shield batteries are out of juice. The Stalker count getting kind of low here, though, but the Void Ray count down to just 2. Those shield batteries not doing much anymore at all, and now it's 1 base to 1 base. MaxPax, I don't know if he's got the production to keep up with SKillous's unit count. SKillous, I thought that was a probe. It's just a pylon. I don't know if he's going to be able to take a Nexus behind this at all, but he's just keeping that pressure on, forcing MaxPax up into his base. SKillous looking to take a quick 2-0 here. I don't know what MaxPax does from this position. I mean, it is 1 base to 1 base. SKillous does not have a natural. He's got a probe out here. He could go back home, send that probe back home, take the base. But he just wants to keep the pressure on. He wants to keep pushing this backwards. Depowers one of the shield batteries. MaxPax still has 3. Oh, he's still got 4, so he's slowly regaining energy on some of these guys. Probe comes up. I guess that won't go home to build a Nexus. MaxPax just going to try to hold the ramp here, but there are some force fields out of SKillous, and he's going to block him up top of that ramp. He can keep whittling away at these low ground defenses. Void Ray's trying to help out, but Stalkers jump under them. Nope, they don't get any actual damage on them, it looks like. Prismatic alignment turns on the Void Rays. The Stalkers can't hang around with this. Oh, the force field from MaxPax is absolutely god tier. But the Stalkers turn around to fight. Prismatic alignment runs out. I think SKillous has to run away now. The army supply suddenly switches, and now MaxPax has the army supply lead as he pushes SKillous out of his base. Is he going to try to take a base behind this, or is he just going to stay on the 1 base for now? He starts with another Void Ray. I think that answers that. SKillous is not chilling at all either. He's going right back into Stalker production, sending these units in. 14 Stalkers now. Where is that Oracle? Oracle's just chilling in the middle of the map at the moment. SKillous is not chilling. He's diving on top of this, trying to get one of the Void Rays. He gets one of the Void Rays. There's still 2, though. They're prismatically aligned. They're getting healed by the shield batteries, but they're out of juice. But I think MaxPax has done it. SKillous pushing a little too hard into MaxPax, but he was on 1 base. And GG as MaxPax holds on. He lost the Nexus, but he kept a lot of those units alive and a lot of the shield batteries alive, and they just kept healing, kept picking away at the Stalkers. There was one bad fight SKillous took where he dove a little too deep, got force fielded when he was trying to retreat, and lost a lot of stuff. But yeah, MaxPax doing a great job there. It makes me wonder if when he killed that Nexus, pushed MaxPax back up into the base, could he have kept the pressure on, just dropped the Nexus back at home, sent that probe from the gateway all the way home, take a Nexus, just hold with some force fields there. The Void Rays could fly out, but if they're on their own, they could be picked off a little more easily. I don't know. I feel like SKillous could have turned that into a decent macro game. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say what the right call would have been, even with our observing of everything going on. MaxPax ends up holding. And we're going to a game 3. We're all tied up 1-1. Top into that game 3. We are on altitude. Nice big old map here. Does have a ramp down from the natural. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner. It is Storm Gaming's MaxPax. His opponent in the lower left for Team Liquid. We've got SKillous. Storm versus Liquid action. The old school matchup here. MaxPax going back down to the low ground. I think last game he did the high ground because it was a flat map in the natural. With this game, both players actually going for that low ground gate. Makes a lot of sense. It is very wild how versatile MaxPax is. He's got a lot of different builds, and what makes them hard is they all feel so unique. It feels like it's hard to know exactly what he's going to do with his builds a lot of times. And even when you do know what he's going to do, it's hard to, like, there's not necessarily a hard counter. Because a lot of what he does comes down to having good control. You know, a platinum player can't do these builds. If you tried to execute these builds, you would just lose. To basic stuff. But MaxPax knows all 100 things that his opponent can do against him. He knows how to defend them. He knows how to scout for them. And sometimes, you know, he makes a mistake. I think game one, he missed a trick with game one. But in general, he's very solid at it. He's very good at not making those mistakes. That's what makes him so strong, is he plays a play style where, yeah, if he makes one or two key errors, the game's over. But he just usually doesn't make one or two key errors, at least in the early phases of the game, and it puts him way ahead. I like the way MaxPax plays a lot. He's often quite greedy. That being said, the greedy man in this game was SKillous. And MaxPax, I mean, he knows there's a Nexus there. So what do you do as MaxPax? Well, you just take your Nexus way later? I don't know, man. I like that SKillous is going for this. SKillous is like, you want to expand quickly? All right, we'll expand quickly. We'll do it. And he goes for it. Because MaxPax doesn't usually go for that kind of proxy gate pressure, one base, all-inning against the Protoss. It's pretty rare to see him go for that. I'm sure he can do it. I'm sure he knows the builds. But it's just not something we see that often. And you can usually count on him just going for that quick expansion, like we see here. SKillous did. He took the gamble. He put down the Nexus as early as he could, and his Nexus was finished as MaxPax was starting. Now MaxPax is just behind a lot of workers, actually. It's 26 to 33. So Adept's going to try to even it up a little bit, but it's only going to get the one kill, I think. Oh, but the Oracle comes in. Okay. All right. There's no shield battery here. The Adept tanking, so this Oracle can get 6 kills. It dives for a 7th. It doesn't get it. It does get out of there. That's 8 kills in total. Suddenly, MaxPax's situation isn't looking quite as bad. He's still down a worker or two, but it's feeling very similar. Both players getting into Twilight Councils now. And MaxPax, I mean, he takes a bad situation and he makes it okay. It's not great, but it is okay. We'll head to the mid-game relatively even. SKillous, though, I think, still quite happy with his choice to go for the fast Nexus. Obviously, losing the probes is painful. And he doesn't know exactly how the worker count is for MaxPax, but I think he knows that that Nexus was quite a bit later than his. He's got to imagine that probe count is still doing pretty well for him. And he's been maintaining that 2 to 3 worker lead this whole time. Ooh, MaxPax wants to put some pressure on, though. Just going to hit the front here, working on that pylon, prismatically aligning to fight it. The shield battery going to heal it up a little bit, just buy some time so another Stalker can warp in, but prismatically aligned pylons, or Void Rays, excuse me, are pretty good. Super shield battery turns on, though. SKillous pushes this back. It's just a cheeky little pressure out of MaxPax, but I think he's got to walk home now. That's cute. I think you got a Stalker with that. Nice little trade. The Oracle is still out too, looking for something to tag here. Ooh, be careful with that Oracle. MaxPax takes a third base. Ooh, the Void Ray getting hit. It's going to turn around a fight. It will go down. He gets another Stalker because he might even get another one. And MaxPax's Blink is a little bit quicker too, which means he can keep being aggressive out of the map. It's crazy how much pressure he's trying to just put on SKillous with just a handful of units. SKillous pushes him back though. He's going to go ahead and take a Nexus as well. MaxPax's going to pull back to his base for the time being. Sending a cheeky probe out though. Where's this little probey dude going? Gonna take a watchtower? No? We're just following the probe. We gotta see. Where does the probe go? Okay, okay. Ooh, this looks like he's gonna put down a gate. I think MaxPax might get quite aggressive here. His blink control is top tier. Honestly, MaxPax has some of the best blink control in the world. And it's crazy to say that again because we do think of him as such a specific, unique, strategic player. He comes up with builds. He plays in a very unique play style. And usually, those players are not known for their micro, right? There's usually a separation where, yeah, maybe their micro can be quite good. You could have a player like TY who's got some excellent micro, but he's certainly not the strongest micro player. He never really was. His play style was always a different, separate thing. But for MaxPax, man, his blink control is actually so sick. And he's going to start poking in here. Now, there is a shield battery and a guardian shield. Super shield battery turns on. MaxPax just keeping that pressure on, though. He is not chilling at all. Even with that super shield battery going, I feel like that might be a bit of a mistake for him. But he gets out of there, loses a Stalker as Skillous trims one off. That was the only lost Stalker. MaxPax going to warp in a bunch more, and he wants to keep that pressure on. Armor supplies are very similar, though. I think Skillous is feeling okay about this situation right now. As a couple of Adepts sneak in, getting some damage done. I think there's maybe the Oracle was getting some probe damage done as well. Stalkers go back in for MaxPax, though, as he cleans up those Adepts. Dives back in on top of this. Couple Stalkers come down from the natural. MaxPax getting very aggressive here, but so far, Skillous doing a great job holding on. The worker count ends up pretty much identical. The army supply is very similar as well as MaxPax moves in again, but now he's against a concave and he's in the convex. And guys, what has Tasteless told us time and time again? Concave beats convex, and Skillous' +1 finishes up at a beautiful time midway through that fight. And that means he's going to be able to push this back, targeting down some of these Blink Stalkers as he goes. And MaxPax, I'm talking it up his blink control, but you're even Blink Stalkers in a worse position. A player who just got +1. Skillous, too good to fall to that. And now Skillous has a commanding lead. There isn't really any recourse for MaxPax. He can try to defend with the shield battery and hold on. He looks like he's trying to get into an Immortal and charge. But as we see, Skillous just has more stuff. Super shield battery turns on. Skillous is going to back up for now. He's just going to wait for that to dissipate. Going to keep warping in Stalkers. And I think MaxPax was counting on Skillous going for something a little bit less Stalker heavy. But Skillous just has as many Stalkers as MaxPax, or at least he did earlier. And now Skillous has more. And it looks like Skillous is going to take victory here in game number 3 and go up to match point. MaxPax just doesn't have much left to deal with. Much left to play with. 11 probes going down. More probes getting pulled off the line. I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome the 21 army supply in favor of Skillous, who can just keep on warping in Stalkers and keep this pressure on. And as all the probes go down at the third base, the last of the Stalkers try to pull back, but they're pulling back to absolutely nothing here. It feels like Skillous is about to take this game. I try to time this out, but, you know, different players GG at different times. MaxPax is waiting. He's waiting. He's biding his time. He's lost 28 probes. The Prism's going to go down. Nah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There it is. There's the GG. It took a little bit more time than expected to get those G's out, but came out regardless. That was a very nice game from SKillous. From the early Nexus, taking advantage of MaxPax's passive defensive play. And then into lots of Blink Stalkers, which is turns out a perfect counter against the lots of Blink Stalkers of MaxPax. We're waiting for game number 4 here. Looks like we're going to be on Royal Blood. It's another flat opening, but it is a smaller choke point, so MaxPax might still go for a low ground gateway here. Yeah, MaxPax getting very aggressive there, but I don't know. I wasn't really sure why he felt like being aggressive there was the right call. SKillous was just building stalkers. Both players were just building stalkers on 3 bases. MaxPax's 3rd base was a little bit earlier, but I don't think it was enough to give him the kind of advantage he would have needed to be able to bust into that. He also fought into an overcharged shield battery for kind of a while. We saw later on SKillous, as soon as MaxPax hit that overcharge, even though SKillous had twice as many stalkers, he still was like, oh, I'll back up. It's the right call, is to back up when that overcharge goes down. That mouse just flew. I'm gonna go pick that up. So we're getting into game. Hello, Mr. Eche Fatum. It's good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're still philosophizing on the daily. All right, game number 4 it is. What'd I hit? Sorry, hitting weird buttons here. Let's get into Royal Blood. Join our players as they spawn in. In the upper right-hand corner, we have, of course, the blue Protoss for Psystorm Gaming. MaxPax, possibly the favorite to win here, but down 1-2. Against his fellow Protoss for Team Liquid, it's SKillous. What am I drinking? It's a very common question. I feel like I should start coming up with other answers other than the truth, because the truth is kind of boring. It's a nice pink drink. Some people have asked if it's like a strawberry daiquiri or something. It's not. It is a strawberry flavored Rockstar that I pour into a glass because it looks fancier. That way I don't give Rockstar free advertising on my stream. Even though I always say this, and I always like hold up the can and I'm like, it's a Rockstar, this is the flavor. So I'm really bad at not giving them free advertising. What I'd love is to be sponsored by Rockstar, and they could just send me a 12-pack of this like once a month. We'd be good. Maybe one day. Maybe during Stormgate. Stormgate will get big, and we'll get the Rockstar ad deal. That'll be the way to go. Now, SKillous going for the high ground 2-gate here, the good old Standy Andy build. MaxPax building the low ground gate in Cybercore, as we expected MaxPax to do. He doesn't do this a lot on these low ground maps we saw earlier on Ancient Cistern with the flat low ground. He did not build this, but I think on this map in particular, because it's a narrower choke, he does go for it. We saw him do it earlier against Strange, and I believe, is that the map Strange won? No, I think MaxPax held on this map. I'm trying to remember. I have a bad memory for those things. Whatever Roddy has, where he can remember every single game and every single match for the last 15 years, I'm like the opposite of that. We just cast that match like an hour ago, and I'm like, did they play on this map? Is Skillous going to get aggressive? He's got the Stargate going down, but he's got a low ground pylon. It feels like he could just go for a Nexus here. Obviously, it'd be quite a bit later than MaxPax's, but it would put him in a very similar position to what MaxPax was in last game. And now it would be MaxPax defending against the Oracle. He's got his own Oracle out. And Skillous opening up with the Stalkers might lull MaxPax into a false sense of, not security, but convince him that there's a different build happening than there is. Usually if you go for a Stargate, you open double Adept. See Skillous following up with the 2 Adepts. He's going to try to jump in now. I think MaxPax will have a wall, though. Whoop, but as I say that, the Adepts are going to sneak through. Probe goes down. MaxPax trying to hold on. Is he going to send the Oracle, keep the Oracle home? Nope, he's going to send it across the map and shoot through some shield battery energy. He's actually getting some damage done, but speaking of damage, the Adepts get into the base. They get a little bit of damage done. Void Ray going to hold them off here. At the same time, Skillous hitting the front with the Oracle. The shield battery died. There's a lot of action going on this map. MaxPax's Oracle gets out of there. Skillous' Oracle tries to get in, but the Void Ray is going to push it away, but that means the Void Ray is not here defending. I think MaxPax is defending just quite all right with this. Ooh, could actually go for the pickup with his Phoenix. Phoenix is an interesting choice. It is the guaranteed kill on the Oracle, if you can get on top of it. I think this one might have been recalled. I'm not sure. It's going to come back out now. Phoenix goes over there. That's a dead Oracle. The Oracle might be able to dive in and get some kills in the meantime. It looks like it's going to be able to get 1 or 2 before that shield battery is here. There's the Phoenix. Gonna get another one. 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. Oh! Gets way more damage than I think it had any right to. 6 probes going down there. Skillous taking a nice worker lead, and despite that later Nexus, there he is, making up for it. He is poking the front as well. Now, there's no blink on these Stalkers. I don't even think he has a Twilight Council. Oh, he does. He's finished. Blink just starting up now, though. But Skillous keeping the pressure on with these Stalkers. Blink quite a bit further away from MaxPax. His Twilight Council's not quite done yet. So far, he's holding on the Void Ray and a few Stalkers. Getting another Oracle out, maybe to join up with the other one, or the other one died. Looks like the other one died. Skillous just being as annoying as possible with these Stalkers, trying to poke down this wall of MaxPax. Could try to sneak some Adepts in now, too. So there's no real chance of MaxPax walling off the Adepts. Oh, Skillous dropping the proxy gate here. He wants to get real aggressive with this. He's like, I actually don't think you can defend whatever I have coming, which is Blink Stalkers, lots of Blink Stalkers. MaxPax does have Blink on the way. He's going to drop the Dark Shrine. Oh, that is a sick move. There was an Oracle out earlier, but with the Phoenix out, no chance Skillous is going to make another one. It means he's not going to have any detection for such a long time. But Dark Shrines take approximately 1,000 years to build, and Skillous has a lot of time to put pressure on. His Blink is about to finish. It's going to be a while before MaxPax can utilize any Dark Templar, and even a little while before he can utilize his own defensive Blink. He sends a probe out. That probe sneaks out, actually. Skillous doesn't stop it. And now Skillous going to try to dive in here. The Phoenix lifts one of those Stalkers, but it does go down. The Void Ray prismatically lines. The shield battery overcharges. MaxPax holds for now. If he can get his own Blink out, he'll be in a much better position. That Cybercore dies, though, and a new one's going to have to go down in the main base. That means no more Stalkers here for MaxPax for a while. So Blink is going to finish, and he's just going to have to warp in Zealots. That is so painful. Shield batteries are out of juice. The Prism goes down, or the Void Ray, excuse me. Man, I can't say the words. The Stalkers are falling. MaxPax in dire straits here. He doesn't have an overcharge. He's going to have to pull the probes. He better hope these DTs get a lot of damage done. No, he doesn't even warp them in. Doesn't even get there. Skillous kills him too quickly, and that is a 3-1 victory for Skillous over MaxPax. He says, PvP God? What's a god to a non-believer? That's what That's what SKillous just said. He was like, best Protoss player in Europe? I don't know, man. You don't seem to be at the big tournament. Knocks him down. SKillous gets a win in an ESL Open Cup.